Welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would just talk about, since I already talked about one of, we talk, go down the list of a couple of car accidents that I've been in. Again, I have no idea how I've managed to survive them. That seems to be the question. How am I still alive? The one I mentioned before was with my friend Mario in West Hollywood. Right on Sunset by Laurel Canyon, and where Laurel Canyon becomes Crescent Heights, where a guy clipped us, we spun, were airborne, landed on top of cement planters. Another accident was with one of my other friends, Mon. We were on our way shoe shopping. We were gonna go to Lala's, which was the store, I don't know if it's still there, but it was this great store for alternative and goth shoes. They sold everything there. And we were on Highland and Hollywood. We're gonna make a left on Hollywood. And as we were making a left, a car hit her little blue Datsun. It was a two-door Datsun. And we spun and just moved forward on Hollywood Boulevard as we're going. We ended up, we spun about a good block and a half, I think. And when we finally stopped, we were on oncoming traffic. I have no idea how we didn't hit anybody else. And the bottom wheel let me see. Mario's was in the front. Hers was in the back. The back bottom wheel was underneath the car. And we're both like, what the heck just happened? But basically, we were like, I think that we might have, because when people came and rushed to see if we were okay, they were like, what is wrong with you people? Thank God you're okay, but what is wrong with you people? And we're like, why? And they're like, the only thing we heard coming from the car was yays and laughter. We're like, well, welcome to our world. we were quite a lot of fun. If we didn't make it fun, we'd probably end up screaming at the top of our lungs. So we always made everything fun. Then another car accident was when, again, like I said, the accidents have never been my fault. We were parking the car, and this big yellow truck, that's before yellow became such a big car number that you see everywhere, that you're just like, really? Okay. Can't help anybody if they're colorblind though. Well, no, you can. You can get them in glasses. But they ended up, I don't know what they were doing, but they ended up hitting the car that was parked, which we were like the second car in the aisle of the parking lot. They hit the car hit us. We ended up hitting another car. Thank goodness we hadn't even opened the doors yet. But it was like really bad. We were trapped. Until my friend's like, let's break the back window and climb out of there. I mean, and my friend who was driving is like, no, no. My car. And we're like, your car is totaled. What's it gonna matter anymore? So that's how we climbed out of there. Another one was, again, with the guy who got grabbed by the entity or whatever, and I got tossed across the room, coming from San Diego, on the 101. I want to say this was 94. Probably was 94. We were tired. We were so exhausted. And he was driving. And I wake up to a bang. He basically hit the middle divider. And again, spinning. Spinning, and ended up facing oncoming traffic. That was horrible. Because when you're asleep, and you wake up with a bang, and everything's spinning, you have no idea where you're going, where you're at, what's going on, where you're going. I was like, what the? But nothing else happened to us. And again, this was like probably around, I want to say like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. We had just drove all the way up from San Diego, so there was relatively no traffic, thank goodness, because that would have been a lot worse if it would have been like during rush hour or throughout the day, period. Because the 101 is like the 405 congested at all times. Then there was the accident with which one? Oh, Mulholland Drive, when my friend had just gotten her new car, and a car came out of nowhere, because the people that live up in the hills, they feel entitled. They're very entitled people, because wealthy, money, whatever, blah 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 blah. Entitled people are the worst. They always rush out of. They're the ones that cause most of the accidents by where I live in the cars, because there's studios north of where I live, and then the hills to the south, and they rush down one of the little streets by where I live as if it were a freeway or a highway, whichever one you want to call it, you can identify with. And they're horrible. And they get into more accidents than anybody. But this time we were up in Mulholland Drive, and we ended up, this car ended up hitting us, and we ended up flipping over. And it was horrible, because my friend's boyfriend had his arm out, and he ended up getting a lot of gravel, because his arm was just destroyed. He ended up having to wear like the those metal bars that go in and tighten in throughout, and he had surgery. But while we were there, and he was still awake, they had to use a metal brush to scrape as much gravel as they could out, and they couldn't give him any anesthesia, because we had been in an accident. He could have hit his head. It could have been fatal if he had brain injuries. So he had to be awake. So all we kept on hearing was him screaming while that happened. But again, that was like, I think the worst any of our accidents I've ever been. He ended up fine. His arm is great, healed perfectly, thank goodness. But yeah, we had quite a few of those incidences where, again, we have no idea how it is that we are still alive. Even close accidents with one of my closest friends, she ended up getting some drafting tables, very large drafting tables, from her ex-boss at the time, from her boss at the time, now ex, and we ended up renting a U-Haul. We called the situation the day with a U-Haul from hell, because the brakes weren't properly working. You swear we were driving like one of those big old trailer trucks hauling one of those giant trailers behind us, because if we had to keep a long distance from this, and it was an older U-Haul truck, so we had to keep a very long distance from the car in front of us, just in case they stopped. We had enough room to stop. So all the way there, I mean, I'm sure we scared quite a few people, because I have a very booming voice, and when I yell, it projects. And she was projecting as well, because all you hear is move, don't do this, stop, ah! Yeah. That was a trip and a half. We ended up getting her ex to help us once we got there, because we're just like, this is the worst incident with a U-Haul I have ever been in. It was horrible. It scared us half to death. It was, oh my goodness. Yeah. And then another incident when like the webcam and sex on the web started. There was a company, I don't know if they're still there, based in Santa Monica. And I ended up working there for a couple of months only, because I'm just like, no, it's too far for me. I'm not gonna to deal with the traffic. And it was actually three of us that got hired there at the same time. And we ended up one night when we were coming home from the Santa Monica Freeway onto the 405. Now, to get to the from the Santa Monica Freeway to the 405, you have to be on the first right lanes, and from there, there's a bridge that goes over and into the 405. The driver, I don't remember what we were all talking about, but we were all talking about something. I don't know. We were totally like engrossed in our conversation. We weren't paying attention to where we were going on the freeway. And then we see the freeway and we pulled what we called an Angie. And called an Angie because a friend's friend pulls that every time, and I've been in her car when she does that, when they're on the far left lane of the freeway or highway, and they just cut a bitch straight across everybody. We did that, but the whole deal is that when the bridge starts to go onto the 405, there's sort of like, that bump. We hit that bump and we were airborne. And I swear we thought we were going to go over down into the houses. All you hear is three freaking people screaming at the top of our lungs. We hit the actual bridge. It just bounced and kept on going. And we're just like, we're still alive. We're still alive. Oh, we were idiots. Oh my God. Worst part for one of the cars was we were in Malibu and we parked on if you ever go to Malibu, there's certain areas where you can park. Aside from like the paid parking lots, there's certain area where you can park just on the side street. Just, you can walk down the rocks and go into the water, blah, 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 blah. We had parked in one of these, but we didn't park sideways. We parked facing, and it was a little incline. Why did they not put the car in parking? Nor did they put the handbrakes on. Yeah, that U-Haul had that what are they called? AAA, AA, AAA, AA. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The auto insurance place. Their truck had to come in and pull the car up and out because, yeah, it just went bloop. Yeah, I guess the question is valid. I don't know how I'm alive. I don't know how we got anywhere, actually, because it was always an adventure. Always an adventure. Never really a dull moment when we were younger. We never really stayed put very long in one place because, it was like work, clubs, go to the mountains or go somewhere. Just always doing something. Always doing something. And that was always fun. That was always a lot of... That's why I think I don't mind what I do now. My life has just changed and I spend most of my time caring for my grandmama. So I don't feel like I'm missing out. Because I have apparently lived quite a few lives. So yeah, it's not something that I miss out in. Yeah, there are clubs or there's concerts actually. Concerts is what I miss the most. But yeah, I still get to go out every once in a while. And that's always a lot of fun. Even now, some of the adventures we get into, that I'm just like, some things never change. Never change. Like with my friend with a U-Haul incident, we had to go to a convention for basically the people that sell the machines that imprint and all the different new techniques that are coming out with imprinting on shirts and making your own fabrics and all of that. We went there. I was able to go, and she took her boss, And we were, again, another of those conversations where we get so engrossed that we didn't realize that we missed the freeway to go to Long Beach. And we were in Irvine, which is about, what, 9 miles away? Like, how the fuck did we get here? But usually when she and I go out and do, whatever, it doesn't matter if we've been there 100 times, we will end up getting lost. Well, not necessarily lost, because we know we're in LA. So we're like, if we go here, we're gonna hit this mountain. If we go here, we're gonna hit this beach. So we're not necessarily lost. We know where we're going. We're just gonna take the scenic route to get home. So yeah, those are some of the adventures and my accident list with cars. Just the ones that I can remember at the moment, actually. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, I guess we'll talk some other time. Take care. Ciao. Have fun.